Yo, what's up, everybody? This is your boy, Key Bryant with Bryant Gonzalez Real Estate. And today we are on episode number 1 of Keeping It Real Estate. First and foremost, I have to thank Billy Rowe and the First World for providing me this platform to provide vital information for the real estate market in the local area here in Sacramento, as well as California. But we're going to get straight into it. And today's topic is rent versus owning, your own home, and which is better. All right. So now I'm sure you've heard, whether from family, friends, and of course your real estate agent or loan officer, that it's better to buy than to rent. The saying, renting is like throwing money into the fire. Well, not so fast. So today we're going to discuss the benefits of both renting and buying your home. So far as which option is better of the two, it absolutely depends on the individual situation. There are certain variables that need to be considered. So some of those things, when you talk about the renter's characteristics, number one would be, your career requires you to be mobile. And that means that you're never in one location for a long duration, meaning, maybe you might be in Seattle for 2 years, and then the next year, your career requires you to be in Sacramento, things of that sort. That's when, renting is definitely something that option that you want to go with. Number two, your current rent is significantly under market value and lower than a mortgage, and the rate is locked in for long term or is protected by rent control. So basically what I mean by that is, I've had clients where they're paying rent at $800 a month and the landlord hasn't increased the rent in over 3 years. That type of situation is something that you can't beat and something that you always want to take advantage of. So as long as you're okay with, paying, that $800 a month in that type of, rental property that you're in, then I would say definitely stay in that place and take advantages of that. Number three, depending on your local market and if it's significantly cheaper to rent to own, and that's certain things like New York, Los Angeles, San Francisco, owning homes in those areas are significantly higher than what the rent would be. So it only makes sense for you to rent a property as opposed to owning. All right. And then number four, credit repair is needed, or you need to make more income, that is. So you're not there just yet in order to own your own home, or you need the credit repair. So those are very temporary situations. I mean, I definitely think that when we look at, overall, if the situation looks right, then I definitely think that you should own. But considering, the credit repair and so forth, getting that done first before you try and purchase a home. And then last, number five, if you're just an irresponsible individual, and what I mean by that is you don't care to pay rent on time, you skip payments, you live your life, haphazardly, if they're that type of person, then I don't recommend you owning a home. Now, I don't think any of you are like that out there, but if you are, you might need to make some changes in life. So some of the benefits of renters or renting is there's no long-term commitment. Again, going back to being mobile with your career or your job, that means you can get up and leave whenever you want. Okay, now you might have a lease, but you definitely can break that lease. You might have to pay a fee here or there, but you can break that lease and you can move on. There's no long-term commitment such as a mortgage, right? Number two, financial stability, right? There are fewer unexpected expenses. Repairs to the home are deferred to the landlord. Any maintenance issues, things of that sort, the landlord takes care of it. The roof caves in, the landlord's gonna have to take care of that. And, you might have to be in a hotel for a little bit, or, you can get into another rental, whatever it may be. But, that cost is not on you, it's on the landlord. Okay, so those are kind of the three benefits that I see as a renter. All right. And as we go down a little bit more here, we look at some of the owner characteristics, right? Let's look at some of the benefits there. And everyone that basically doesn't fit in those five categories that I just mentioned actually four, because I don't think anyone is that irresponsible when it comes to, taking care of business. But Those four categories I just mentioned, if you don't fit in that category, then I definitely think that you should be an owner of a property. Now, I also want to add that even if you are renting where you live, for any of the reasons I mentioned above, it does not mean you shouldn't own an investment property. And as a matter of fact, I can teach you how you can use real estate to make income on top of the career or job that you already have while living rent free. Okay, I'm gonna say that again. I can teach you how to make income on real estate while living rent free. Now, that's a whole nother episode, so we're not gonna get into all the nits and gritties right now, but I'll tell you right now that it's definitely a way to make that happen. Um, Benefits of owning. Okay, so I think that there's a little bit more benefits in owning than there is in renting. Purchasing a home is an investment that appreciates over time. So as an example, I had a client that lived in Natomas. Actually, she was a buyer initially, first-time home buyer, bought a home in Natomas, and her home appreciated over time, and she was able to move up into another home, into Elk Grove, into a better home than what she had previously. So we'll kind of go into that story a little bit more, but let's go on to benefit number two. Gain equity. So equity is the principal balance of your home you've already paid. When you pay down that principal, it's like depositing money into a bank. Because that money becomes, available for reinvestment in the home itself, or a new home, a new investment. You can use that money for home improvements, upgrades, and repairs. Take that money out, pay down the down payment on a new home or a new investment, pay your child's college and tuition, start a business, et cetera, et cetera. So there's definitely a huge benefit when it comes to equity inside your home. Number three is take advantage of tax benefits. Okay, so the option to deduct the interest from your mortgage payments onto your tax return is an excellent tax benefit that a lot of homeowners take advantage of. So that's definitely a benefit. Number four is fixed payments. So, there's definitely different loans out there, but the common loan out there is a 30-year fix. So you don't have to worry about, say, for instance, you are renting and the landlord is increasing the rent every year, $100, $200. There's no fixed payment there. But with your mortgage, it is definitely a fixed payment if you choose the 30-year option. So that is definitely something that is a benefit when it comes to owning a home. Control of your living space. Now, how many of you have been out there, you've been a renter, you're not able to do certain improvements to the home and so forth because you have to get approval to the landlord? When you own a home, you have the full control of the living space. You can do whatever it is that you please to your home. Of course, there can be some guidelines if you're in the HOA or if you're in certain type of CC&Rs when it comes to the exterior of the home. But other than that, for the most part, either you just get approval for it or you can go ahead and do whatever it is that you want with your home. Home stability. Okay, so again, you don't have to worry about moving. You're stable there at your home. Not only that, with the home stability is that when you have that 30-year fix, you don't have to worry too much about your cost of living changing too much when it comes to your mortgage payment. You know exactly what it's going to be. So as you increase your income over time, that allows you to have more room, more stability in your home. All right. So again, let's kind of recap what the benefits are for renters. Number one, no long-term commitment. Number two, financial stability. Number three, financial flexibility. And then we'll go into the owner benefits. I believe that there's 7. So you have, or 6. So 1 is appreciation. 2, equity. 3, tax advantages. 4, fixed payments, a 30-year fix or what have you. Number 5, the cost of your living space or control of your living space. And number 6, home stability. All right. A few things that I kind of want to give you guys an example of, a story that I absolutely want to share, and how owning a home can be so beneficial to not only just family wealth, but also just, being able to have full control and not being in a volatile market, such as the rental market here in Sacramento. So Sacramento has definitely been an area where rent has increased significantly. The Bay Area is another place, and Los Angeles is another place as well, where rent continues to increase. So in areas here like Sacramento, I wouldn't necessarily say Bay Area or Los Angeles, but Sacramento, you have a very unique situation where the amount of money that you're paying in your rent uh, could go so much farther if you were to use that money and purchase a home. And so I want to give an example of a client of mine. She was renting for 5 years. She said, Key, I'm tired of renting. I feel like, my money is going into the fire. And she felt that way because her landlord increased the rent significantly over the course of 5 years. So, and when I say significantly, her rent has went up $1,200 in 5 years. Okay. So because she's paying a significant amount of rent, she thought it was be in her best interest to purchase a home. When she did, she bought her home. She bought her home in a down market. So that market during that time was 2011. She bought her home, and I want to say for 170,000. And literally 2 years to the date, she had 120,000 in equity in her home. That's how much it. I'm sorry, she had more than that in equity, but the appreciation was 120,000. A home could actually sell for, I think it was right around 300,000 at the time. So she decided to put her house on the market. She put it on the market. She went and bought the home that she actually wanted, like that she really desired to have. That first home was her starter home. The second home was everything that she wanted. And she was able to use the down payment, and she had money on top of that that can go towards debt eradication. So she did a complete debt consolidation, and became debt free. And only that, but had the home that she wanted to live in, and paying the monthly mortgage at an amount that she could absolutely afford at a fixed rate. So the power of real estate, as you can see, as long as things are going well, and I know real estate can be volatile as well, meaning going up and down, but overall, if you look at the course of real estate, it continues to go up. So even with the dips, even with the valleys and the peaks, it's continuously going up. So just wanted to share that with you guys today. If you have any questions, I am always available. Direct message me on Instagram. You can direct message me on Facebook as well. My information is all below. And also wanted to just shout out again to Billy Rowe for saying thank you for allowing me to be here and using this platform. And before I sign off, make sure everybody tune in tomorrow at 7 p.m. on the First Row Interstation. The topic will be Inside Leadership with Bob McKinley. So I promise you don't want to miss it. And again, thank you all for tuning in, and I'll see you next time on Keeping It Real Estate. Later.